Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well, and welcome to this brand new update on XRP. So in this video, I want to take you through the chart of XRP on this particular time frame, and also I'll show you another chart in a few minutes as well, which I want to take a look at as well. So let's begin first of all with this chart you're seeing here. By the way, before we begin, I know many of you asked me before, many of you asked me this question in previous video updates, which is, Alessio, given all the bad news we're hearing about XRP, the rumors about XRP being delisted from many exchanges and so on, how can we possibly and reasonably analyze the chart of XRP? How can we do technical analysis of XRP given all this bad news and all the fundamental news events we're hearing about? Guys, I'll explain this to you later at the end of this video, but let me also say this. It's possible that people who are asking this question have not seen my previous video either. So make sure you do watch it if you haven't seen it, which is the secret to predicting the markets. I explained this in a lot of detail as to how it's technicals that lead the market, not fundamentals or news. Let me first of all begin by looking at this chart of XRP here on the daily time frame. By the way, if you recall my previous analysis of XRP in the last video I made, I think it was last week on XRP, I did mention this. So let's just watch this very quickly and we'll come back. So this level at 0.17 is going to be very important for bulls to hold. So what does that mean, by the way? You will notice that I put my potential C wave. In other words, guys, if this is the A wave, B wave bounce, the C wave could extend to where I put the 78.6% retracement at 0.1725. And in fact, that actually makes a lot of sense to me because here's the deal. The deal is that C waves are usually composed of 5 waves. If this is our C wave of wave 2, they're often composed of 5 waves, 5 smaller waves. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the wave 5 could extend as low as 0.17. That's the one thing I'm waiting for, guys. I'm waiting to see, can 0.1725, the C wave, can it hold this level and bounce off? As long as XRP can bounce off this support level that I just mentioned here, provided it can maintain 0.1725, and we see a strong bounce, if we see a strong bounce off this level, off the 0.1725 level here. So guys, as you heard me say there, I said, look, as long as XRP can maintain that 0.17 support, which by the way is the level it bounced off from, you can see that's the level which XRP nicely came down to and then bounced off, which is precisely what we expected that XRP would likely do. In fact, here's that video, and you can see right here what I wrote. I wrote here that the last bastion of support, the last stronghold of support for XRP, or last chance to save XRP for bulls, is likely the 0.17 level, which by the way is the level that it came down to. You can see here that's what XRP came down to, and then it bounced off it. And in case you're wondering why was that level so important, well, I explained this in my previous video as well, but I'll explain to you again. You see, guys, in Elliott wave theory, markets, in fact, let me show you this. So in Elliott wave theory, markets trend, or markets move in the direction they made a trend in 5 waves, and corrections are made up of 3 waves. So that means if we completed wave 1, okay, so we've completed wave 1 as you can see here on our chart. Let's take a look over here. This is the rally which started from the crash in, okay, so here's the crash in March. That's the bottom in the month of March. And here's the rally since then. That rally from the March lows all the way to the summer highs, I should beg your pardon, to the November highs was likely a 5-wave move, okay? And there's our 5-wave structure, okay? Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So we've had a 5-wave move up. That is likely our wave 1 of a much larger uptrend, okay? Then we've had a very deep correction, as you can see here, very strong and steep or deep correction, which is also made up of 3 waves. There's our A, B, C waves on the balance of probabilities. That is the most likely, to me, is the most likely scenario here for XRP. And that could actually interpret itself as you can see here, I've labeled this on my chart in the rectangular boxes, likely wave 1 and then likely wave 2 correction. So what could this mean? It means if wave 2 has completed here or beginning to complete here, that means we could potentially see another 5-wave move up towards our likely wave 3 in the next few months going through 2021. As you can see here, our wave 3 is, our probable wave 3 is here. Okay, so that means, given Elliott wave theory, let's take a look at this chart one more time. This is what we're saying here. Wave 1 likely completed here back in November. Then we've had an ABC, very deep correction, as you can see here, very deep correction here, coming to the 78.6% retracement. As you can see, I've written deep retracement, usually 61.8 to 78.6%, as you can see, I've written. All right, that's the usual levels for wave 2, the retracements. Then once wave 2 completes here, then we can start our major longer term wave 3, which will take us to potentially higher levels, as you can see here. All right, guys? So what does this mean? It means that as long as XRP can maintain itself above this key support level that I mentioned in my previous video, 0.17, 0.1725, but I'm just going to say 0.17 to keep it simple, which, by the way, is also the level, the key support level we formed back in the summer period as well. Okay? So as long as XRP can protect and remain above 0.17, I can then reasonably hold a bullish bias towards XRP. So I still maintain a cautiously bullish perspective and outlook on XRP as long as XRP can remain and hold above 0.17. All right, guys? Now, why do I say cautiously bullish, cautiously optimistic on XRP? Why am I not saying aggressively bullish? Because, guys, at the moment, it's too early to say that an uptrend has started on XRP. Look, I will say this. I think the pattern on XRP is looking very nice. I still think the higher probability scenario for XRP still is that this was wave 1, this was wave 2, and as long as we hold above 0.17, I can maintain a bullish, a cautiously bullish perspective on XRP for longer term targets. The longer term target, as I showed you before, there it is. Let me just squeeze the chart a little bit. There it is. I can then say, look, by the middle or by the end of 2021, potentially we could be heading towards our wave 3 targets near 1 and 1.3 levels on XRP. That's only provided, by the way, that XRP can respect and hold above the lows that we made in December of 2020. Which means what? Which means, guys, this. It means that if XRP, I want to make sure we mention this, if XRP was to drop, let's say that XRP was then to drop below 0.17 and then follow through lower below 0.17, then guys, no. Then I can no longer maintain a bullish bias or a bullish perspective on XRP. So I want to make this very clear. Even though I'm not expecting this to happen, even though I'm not expecting this bearish scenario for XRP, I think that has a slightly lower probability. But if it does happen, if XRP does break below 0.17 and follow through lower, let's say it continues to stay below 0.17 and follow through below 0.15, then no. That would mean likely we're going to the lows of March, and that would mean I can no longer maintain a bullish perspective on XRP. So I'm hoping that's very clear. So again, just to repeat this point, that as long as XRP can remain above this support and respect this support of 0.17, I think I can reasonably say that it's possible, and indeed probable, that XRP has likely bottomed here, okay? And that potentially we've seen capitulation on XRP at these levels, provided this level holds. Okay, so I'm going to show you two potential scenarios here for XRP, both of which are bullish. Okay, so I'm going to show you two potential bullish scenarios for XRP as to what may happen in the next few weeks and months. All right, guys? And then at the end of the video, I'll show you what could happen if I'm wrong about this. So if my bullish perspective is wrong, I'll explain to you what may happen on XRP in the next few weeks and months. However, guys, again, let me repeat that for now, as long as XRP protects and respects this low that it held here, this support at 0.17 here, at the 78.6% retracement, as long as it holds above this level, then I think there are two potentially bullish scenarios that could happen in the next few weeks and months. And also I can say that this wave 2 has likely formed here and completed here at these levels. All right, guys, so my first scenario, my first potential bullish scenario for XRP is this. If we've bottomed here, which I think is likely, then I can say, well, the C wave of the probable wave 2 has likely completed here at this level you're seeing here at 0.17. All right, guys? So as long as this level holds, the first scenario that could happen, the first potential scenario that might happen on XRP is this, which is that what could happen is that XRP could then start an uptrend, okay? In other words, we actually could see, if we see a break above this trend line formation, this magenta trend line you're seeing here. So we just connect, what we've done here, guys, is, as you know, we've connected these lows, and if you just draw a line through that, that's the magenta line you're seeing on my chart, okay? So we're seeing two trend lines, by the way, here. That means if XRP is able to In other words, if in the next few months it's able to, as shown to you by my green line, let's say we then break through in the next few months above this trend line, going above 0.3, pushing it above the 200 average and 21 average, then yes, I think that would be a strong probability that therefore XRP has put in perhaps a V bottom, some kind of V bottoming formation here. By the way, V bottoms are actually quite rare. They don't usually happen. They do sometimes happen, but they're quite rare. Because I think the more likely scenario, the more likely bullish scenario for XRP is actually something like this. So let me show you this on the chart of XRP. You see, guys, firstly, by the way, notice this. MACD is now beginning to cross over. As you can see here, MACD is crossing over now in a bullish direction. That is a good thing, by the way. That's actually a bullish sign for XRP here, the MACD crossover in a bullish direction. So far, so good. But here's something else. Here's something that concerns me. What's concerning me is actually two things. Firstly, the volatility. Volatility on XRP is still pretty high. Okay, it's above its range. This is average true range, by this indicator is called ATR, average true range. ATR is actually quite high. What I would like to see, as you guys know by now, markets usually bottom, price usually bottoms when volatility drops. So at the moment, volatility is still pretty high. Okay, notice, and it's not surprising. Volatility has been very high during this period here. Okay, a lot of volatility here. But I would like to see this volatility dropping first before I see a good and a high probability bottoming formation on XRP. So I think, look, I would like to see in the next few weeks and months this volatility on average true range dropping back down to its previous range. Okay, I want to see this dropping here and over the next few weeks and months. Once this drops, and as long as, let me repeat this point, as long as XRP is still above 0.17, that actually would be a good sign, because that means XRP potentially is putting in a bottoming formation, is carving out a bottom here. Okay, so what might happen is, this is actually a potential scenario on XRP. What might happen is that volatility over the next few weeks and months is going to drop down, which is good, because markets usually bottom when volatility drops. And then during this period, XRP might do this. It might begin to do this, for example. It might come down here a little bit, maybe retest the lows here, go in a sideways range, okay? You know, some kind of a sideways range consolidation before finally breaking out to the upside. Okay, to me that actually makes more sense, because Bitcoin also needs to see a correction. Okay, let me show you this. So if I go on the chart of Bitcoin, you will see Bitcoin is actually pretty much overbought. And I think in the next few weeks and months, I think as we go into the next few weeks and months into late January and also in February, it's more likely that Bitcoin will see a correction, some kind of wave 4 corrective drop. All right, guys, so I think Bitcoin is well overdue for a corrective drop in the next few weeks and months going into late January to February, which means if that happens, guys, if you think about it, if Bitcoin has a correction, a corrective drop, how likely is it for XRP to start an uptrend? I would say it's less likely. I mean, it's possible, but I think if Bitcoin starts a correction, that could put some downward pressure on XRP. However, I don't think necessarily, because you might be thinking, well, if Bitcoin starts a correction, wouldn't that mean that XRP could then, you know, drop all the way down? Could it not break 0.7 and drop all the way down to the lows of March? It's possible. I mean, we might see, you know, XRP being dragged down by a corrective drop in Bitcoin over the next few weeks and months. That's possible. However, I think actually it's also possible that because XRP has seen such a dramatic drop, such an intense crash in the last few weeks and months, because the crash in XRP has been so intense and so deep, it's possible that XRP will not see such a major drop as we think it's going to have if Bitcoin starts a correction. It may be that XRP's crash has been so intense that it's already so depressed and so oversold that we may not see a continuation lower into the lows of March. I think that actually may not happen. I think we will see some downward pressure on XRP, but it's possible that XRP may still hold above the support level. Okay, so it still may hold. Let me just go back to my chart here. In other words, if Bitcoin starts a corrective drop, yes, it might put downward pressure on XRP, but it still may hold above the Fibonacci 78.6% retracement of 0.1725. Okay, so I think given the extent of this intense crash, so I think it's possible that given this intense crash in XRP and so oversold and the possible capitulation we've seen in XRP, it's possible that indeed a drop or indeed a correction in Bitcoin over the next few weeks and months may perhaps not have such an intense impact on XRP after all. Okay. Anyway, but we'll have to see about that. So let me just repeat this point. My two likely bullish scenarios on XRP are this. Either we're going to have a scenario where XRP, the volatility on this will drop over the next weeks and months. Okay, this actually is still my higher probability scenario. I think this volatility needs to drop on average true range before we see a bottom. Okay, this is what usually happens across all markets, by the way. In the majority of situations like this, usually volatility has to drop. Okay, at least go down to the average levels it was before finally we see a bottoming formation. And during this time when volatility drops, then what might happen is this: XRP could still go into a sideways consolidation range. It might even retest the lows here. It might come down, perhaps retest the lows of the previous lows it formed in December and then bounce off again. Okay, that actually might happen. It's possible XRP may come down again, retest the lows, and then bounce off again. Okay, that actually would be quite bullish, by the way, because that would be a false breakout as well. All right, so we might actually see some kind of consolidation range. Okay, some kind of sideways consolidation in a kind of maybe a tight box formation. Okay, just going up and down until finally XRP then breaks out and then starts an uptrend. Okay, and then if it moves above 0.3, above this trend line formation, yeah, that actually would be a very strong bullish pattern for XRP. Okay, provided it remains above 0.17. In other words, as long as it holds above 0.17. Okay, which actually makes a lot of sense to me from a technical perspective. The other scenario is this. The other scenario is that XRP has a V bottom. So in other words, XRP, if it does this, if XRP then breaks out over the next few weeks and months above this trend line formation, above 0.3, let me just zoom out a bit again one more time so we can show you this. Okay, here it is. So that means if XRP is able then to, you can see this trend line that I've just drawn here. Okay, that was our trend line. If XRP is then able to break above this trend line in the next few weeks and months above 0.3, that would be a V bottom formation. Okay, V bottom formations can happen, but they're quite rare. They don't always happen. We've seen V bottoms before in the stock market back in March, as you may recall. That was a V bottom here, by the way. Look, this was a V bottom. They do happen. Yes, there it is. The crash in March was exactly that. Drop, crash, and then a V bottom formation. There you go. It does happen from time to time. So it's not impossible. That could happen. So that's my other possible scenario for a bullish picture, or indeed a bullish scenario for XRP. A V bottom formation, if it breaks above, in the next few weeks and months, if it breaks above 0.3, going above the trend line, that could very well be indeed a very strong signal that wave 2 here, the potential wave 2 correction, has likely completed here. In other words, that would be our A wave, B wave, C wave. For a wave 2, that would be our wave 2 just drawn here. Okay, wave 2. Okay, wave 1, as you can see here, and then starting our likely wave 3, taking us to much higher levels, as you can see for yourself here. That would be in this scenario you're seeing here, with the targets, potential targets at 0.88 to 1 to 1.3 levels for 2021. Assuming, by the way, assuming that 0.17 holds, assuming that XRP can maintain and respect and hold above 0.17. Okay, because as I mentioned before, guys, if XRP cannot respect that level, if in the next few weeks and months, okay, let me just make sure I repeat this point. People say, why do you repeat this point? Well, because it needs to be repeated, because it's so important. Okay, because if XRP does not do this, if XRP instead breaks below 0.17 and follows through lower, if it stays below 0.17 and sustained move, if we see a sustained move below 0.17, then guys, no, I can no longer maintain a bullish bias on XRP, because that would actually move us into a bearish perspective on XRP. I should just say that that is not the scenario I'm expecting. This bearish scenario at the moment does not have for me a high probability. Okay, as long as XRP can remain above 0.17, this level I just mentioned here, I maintain a cautiously bullish perspective. a cautiously optimistic perspective. If it falls below 0.17, then yes, I will have to change my mind. So below 0.17, I will have to change my mind and say, no, very likely we could potentially be heading lower. So let me talk to you about this. What could happen in the next few weeks and months to change my perspective? And I should just say, I'm not expecting this, but if it happens, then I will have to change my mind. If XRP were instead to take out 0.17 and stay below 0.17, a sustained move below 0.17 would mean I would have to change my mind and adopt a much more bearish perspective, like you can see here, which would mean an ABC scenario like this, which would mean the rally we've seen. This is actually a weekly chart. This is a longer time frame chart. This bearish perspective would mean that this entire rally from March to November has been an ABC corrective pattern. And then this pattern, this crash, is only the start of a much bigger crash that's going to happen, taking us down significantly lower. Yeah, I mean, that would be taking us down significantly lower into, in the bearish perspective, we're talking about, moving down into, 0.10, 0.08, 0.05 levels here. I mean, that would be a catastrophic drop. But guys, again, at the moment, that is not my higher probability scenario. This is not my higher probability expectation for reasons I've explained. As I've just explained to you, for me, at the moment, given this drop that we had here, given this rally, I should say. So I think at the moment, for me, it's more reasonable to say, and it's probably more likely to say, that this has been wave one, this has been wave two correction, and as long as we hold above 0.17, and provided we can actually then take out 0.3, which I think could happen, possible, then I can still maintain a bullish bias on XRP. But guys, I should say, even though XRP has not yet broken above this trend line and 0.3 resistance, I could say at the moment still reasonable to say that this crash here has been a wave 2 retracement. Okay, so at the moment it's still possible and indeed probable to say that this crash here has likely been a wave 2 retracement before we then complete this wave 2, build a base, build some kind of bottoming formation here, and then start our likely wave 3 uptrend above this resistance in the next few weeks and months. That's really what I have here for you guys on XRP. Now, before I finish, again, there are people who are saying, Alessio, how can you possibly have a bullish bias on XRP? Or indeed, how can you even do technical analysis on XRP given the bad news on XRP right now? What about all this bad news or rumors that XRP could be delisted from all the exchanges? Guys, again, as I explained to you in my previous video, go and watch if you haven't seen it. In my previous video update, I said to you, again, the secret to predicting the markets, which is price over everything. Price über alles. Price über alles means what? It means price comes before everything else, before fundamentals and before news. Because guys, remember, here is how it's so simple. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. If it's really true that XRP is going to go to zero, if it really was going to be true that XRP is going to be worthless and go to zero and get delisted and everything, then fine. If that's true, then XRP would then show it to us on the price. XRP would show to us, price would tell us that on the charts. This is exactly why, guys, Bernard Baruch said, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. Because if that was true, if the worst case scenario is true, then price would tell us that in the next few weeks and months. In other words, price would do this. Price would go below 0.17, stay below 0.17, and then start the more bearish scenario that I just showed to you, the ABC scenario that I showed to you before. Okay, this worst case scenario. Again, for me at the moment, that carries a lower probability as long as XRP remains above 0.17, this support. Okay, so it's as simple as that. However, if good news is going to come out for XRP, if it's going to be good news for XRP, that everything could be okay, then price will tell us this too, because price will then hold above this support, the support I just showed to you before, this level. So that means as long as XRP holds above this support range, this support of 0.17, and then starts an uptrend, breaks above 0.3, breaks above this trend line, then that could actually be a very strong bullish sign for XRP. Whether it does this particular breakout, or if it does the other scenario, goes sideways for a while and then breaks out. Okay? So guys, as simple as that. Again, just to repeat my point, as long as XRP, as long as it can respect and hold above this support of 0.17, as long as it respects this support level of 0.17, then I can reasonably hold a cautiously optimistic, a cautiously bullish outlook for XRP. All right, guys, hope this video helps. If it has, please give it a thumbs up. I look forward to seeing you in the next video update. Cheers. Bye for now.